Hello, 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 my beautiful people out there. How you all doing today? As for me, no need complaining. Of course, to get your girl nowhere. I want to first say thank you all. Welcome or welcome back to Life of Sunshine on Wheels, the talk show. Of course, it's your girl Shana, and we're here with another very special guest. And before I get into the guest, Marianne, I want to read a little bit of background about her little short bio. And she was Miss Wheelchair, New Jersey, 2025. Woo woo. Okay. Marianne lives in New Providence, New Jersey, and works as a psychologist at Summit Psychological Services, a local private psychotherapy practice. She earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in English and a psychology from Drew University, a master's degree in social work from Columbia University, and a doctorate in counseling, psychology in from St. Elizabeth University. You go, girl. Woo! She's enjoying frequent new coffee shops and restaurants, getting her nails done and spending time outdoors in the warm weather. Marianne was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy at 11 months. Her platform focused on the importance of quality mental health care for the disability community. Marianne describes herself as empathetic, intuitive, and kind. Marianne Middlebrook, I want to say welcome to the talk show.
Thank you, Shana. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. I know I'm going to jump the gun a little bit, but I want to tell you, you are truly amazing. You
Thank you.
you are awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, can you share with us about your disability, your muscular atrophy, your spinal muscular atrophy? For those of us that are not familiar with this disability, can you share with us what you know about your disability?
Yeah, definitely. It's genetic, like you said. So I was born with it. My parents are both carriers, which means neither of them have it, but they both kind of passed it on to me, and I showed the symptoms. So that's kind of generally how it works. How it works in my body is like the signals from your brain that kind of cue muscle movement um,
Okay.
don't quite get to the muscle, or it's a weak signal, so then the muscle atrophies or it shrivels or it shrinks because it's not signaled to move. So it's kind of like the move it or lose it type of disease, and it's progressive. So I've had it my whole life, and I have noticed some decline, but also some stability recently. There's lots of new meditations. I've taken 2 out of the 3 approved meditations for SMA. And right now I take one every day, and it's really, really helped with stability, so I haven't noticed much decline recently, but that's kind of what it is in a nutshell. I've been using power wheelchair since I was 2. I've never walked, so that this is kind of what's normal to me. And yeah.
I like that. You said this is kind of normal to me. Well, I thank you for your normalcy. It is amazing. Now, I like how you helped me to understand that both parents were carriers of it, but they didn't have it. But once you were born, you were the one to be born with it.
Mhm.
Wow. Isn't that something how our bodies work?
Yeah, and actually, I have 2 younger siblings that are both unaffected. So they're completely fine and normal, and then there's me.
Of course.
I'm normal in my own way,
That's right.
right?
Absolutely right. I think those of us that live with different disabilities, we are special normal.
Totally.
We have powers that nobody knows about. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So how was your family support growing up? You know, you having the disability. How was your family? Were they supportive? Did they encourage you to be you and to do whatever it is that you wanted to do?
Yes to all of the above. My parents are unbelievable. I don't know if they're listening right now, but they would probably think that I'm not saying that they're unbelievable, but they are.
Yeah.
And they've really, I tell them all the time now that I'm older about how much I appreciated the fact that they raised me in the same way as my other siblings with respect to like telling me that I could do whatever I wanted to do and
Yes.
like not kind of reinforcing the limitations that I had. And I feel like I really internalized that, and it's because of them completely. And my younger siblings are great. My sister is honestly my best friend. So my
Oh,
family is awesome.
that is amazing. And you know what I've learned while living with a disability? It is very important that we have a good support team, a
Mm-hmm.
good people rally around us to help us, because sometimes living with a disability, we may have our good days and we may have our bad days, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes having that support to let you know you're going to be okay, you can get through this, you can do it, it is always welcome. And it is amazing to know that we have that support.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So, as I was reading your bio and I noticed your college, oh, you are amazing. I'm still shocked. So, how was it for you, like going throughout school and then leading up to college? Was there
Mm-hmm.
challenges while in middle school? Was there challenge while in high school leading up to college? Did you face any challenges?
Yes and no. So,
Okay.
yes, because when I was growing up, I was sick a lot. So I had to miss a lot of school, and that comes with its own challenges of like kind of falling behind and missing social opportunities and things like that. So that was definitely a challenge. Um, but honestly, I feel like school was always my favorite place
Mm-hmm.
because since my disability doesn't affect my cognition, I feel like it kind of was like an even playing field for me. Like I could go to school and like do all of the classwork and the homework and all the things just like everybody else could.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I felt like that really meant a lot to me as a kid because kids obviously they want to be like the other kids, right? And so I
Yes.
wasn't in certain ways, but in that way I was. And actually, I was always really nerdy in school and like took a whole bunch of like AP classes and was really like into school. Um, so
Okay, awesome.
so so that's why I said yes and no because I think definitely there were challenging times like high school and younger, but then also not at the same time.
Okay. Now, when you went out to go to college, did you stay on a campus or did you stay at home and commute?
So I lived on campus all 4 years of
Oh,
undergrad. The
okay.
college I went to was only like 15 minutes away from my house. So
Okay.
I went somewhere close so that I could have my family kind of as backup
Yes.
in case. But I did have 24-hour caregivers while I was there, which was very interesting. I I
I
I
bet it
met
was.
I met some very amazing people that I still keep in touch with, and also some very interesting people, to say the least, as caregivers and all that entails. College was my first time using caregivers, because I
Okay.
should tell you too, my mom is a nurse, so she has always been my primary caregiver, and still
Yes.
and is
Okay.
now. She is also now too, but when I went to
Oh,
college,
okay.
that was the first time having outside caregivers, which was very challenging because I had no
Mm.
idea how to navigate it. I had no idea how to ask for things. I had no idea about so many things. Right on top of just being a freshman in college, which is hard enough in itself. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
that was a lot for me. But
Okay.
honestly, I'm so glad I did it. Because I feel like it was just another experience that I got to have, just like all the other kids. And I'm
Yes.
really glad that I got to live away from home, because I feel like it really taught me a lot about myself and like helped me
Mhm.
find my voice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I want to say here we have some comments. We have my cousin Karina who's saying hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Karina, for tuning in. And then she also made another. We also have another comment here from Karina, and she says, "Wow, that was good. It is truly. It is. It's amazing." Now, I want to go on because I see here after you got your bachelor's of arts degree, you went on to pursue other degrees at different universities. Now, how was those different universities compared to the one where you did your 4 years at?
So challenging in different ways, right? So for my master's and for my PhD, I moved home. So I've been
Okay.
living at home since I graduated from undergrad. Um,
Okay.
and so, but honestly, social work school was so challenging. Columbia is no joke, and it was probably the hardest 2 years of school that I've had. But I
Okay.
did learn a lot, and I really enjoyed it. I like to be challenged. And
Okay.
then my PhD um, was great. I feel like it was almost kind of a continuation of my
Okay.
master's in terms of like the things we were learning and like the kinds of clinical experiences we had and all of that. And then the only difference was that we had to write the dissertation at the end. So that was a labor of love for sure. um, but I enjoyed doing it. I wrote my dissertation on um, like basically how people cope with disability based
Hmm.
on the severity of the disability, and what we found was that people who became disabled early in life or who were born disabled were better able to cope with disability related stressors than people who were disabled much later into like adulthood,
Hmm.
because that transition is hard. Right, so that was kind of what I found in my study.
You know what, Marianne? I
Mhm,
have to say, I agree with you
mhm,
on your study because like I've noticed I have a lot of friends in the disability community that were born with their disabilities, so they knew
mhm,
how to adapt to the world. They knew how to cope with things because they've always lived with a disability.
mhm,
They always had that disability because they were born with it. But as for me, I was not born with my disability. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't acquire my disability until around about, I want to say 22, 23 ish.
That's hard.
So it was extremely hard to
Mm-hmm.
cope with it. I can honestly say, Marianne, that it was to the point where I was like, I felt useless. I felt I was depressed, sad, angry, bitter, mad because I had never been through this before.
Mm-hmm.
I never experienced living with a disability. I didn't know the right terms to use. I didn't know the difference between wheelchairs. I didn't know who to contact. It was a lot of things that I had to
Mm-hmm.
learn. And in the beginning, it was extremely hard to cope with.
Yeah, I can imagine, and trust me, like I was born with my disability, but I definitely have my days where I feel all of those things. So I get it. But I can't even imagine like how difficult it must have been for you.
Yes, because you got to learn the new you, and you got to learn all those new things that comes along with you now.
Mhm.
And then to add it on, I'm a single mama too. I thank God for family. God knows I thank God for my mother, my cousin Karina, my cousin Tia, my cousin Byron. I thank God for family, my grandmother. I thank God for family because
Mhm.
I would have been lost.
Mhm.
I would
Definitely.
have been lost because there was times where I felt like I was the worst mom in the world because I couldn't take my children to do after school activities because I can't drive to get you there. So yes, it was hard, and I thank God that I had family and support to help me.
Mhm.
And that is a
Totally.
very important, yes. So I have to ask you, okay, now that you've graduated from college and you've gotten your PhD, which is amazing, and congratulations.
Thank
Are
you.
with the field that you're in, are you happy with it? How is it? What do you do? Please share with us.
Sure. So I am a psychologist. Um, I've been in the field now for like 2 years, 2.5 years, since I graduated. I worked in a private practice. So I see mostly like kids and teenagers and some families together for therapy, individual therapy. So
Okay.
that's kind of my day job. I also adjunct sometimes. So I also teach at the college where I got my PhD.
Okay.
Sometimes, not every semester, but I also do that on the side. So those are kind of the two things that I do. I love my job.
Mhm.
I feel like it fits me really well. Um, and I feel like I get so much out of it. Um, even way more than a paycheck. Like I get so much like personal like growth and fulfillment and all of that from it. So I'm so grateful that I found kind of fell into this.
Yes. It's awesome. It's amazing where you find something that is not really considered work anymore because this is
Mm-hmm.
what you love, it's your passion, and you're made just for it. That's amazing.
Absolutely, that's how I feel. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we still have some comments here. Karina Lee says PhD. Now that's awesome.
Thank you.
And she also she also has a question here for me. She says, "What about your disability being invisible when you were in college, Shana?" Now,
Mm,
let me tell you something, Marianne. I had experience. I was going to our community college here in Baltimore City Community College, and I had an episode where I wasn't in my wheelchair yet. And then I had one of the security guards, they had an issue with the elevators not working. So I would have to take the elevators that were like in the back of the school, I guess for like the custodians and things
mm-hmm,
like that, who would use that elevator. And one of the security guards, he shared with, well, he said to me that you don't look like you're disabled. And I told him I didn't know disabled had a look. That was very offensive, and that made me feel
Good for
some type of
you.
way. Yeah, it bothered me because although I'm new to living with this disability, I'm not in a wheelchair yet. But if I tell you this is what I have, you can't come back and tell me, well, you don't look like you have a disability
Mm-mm.
or you don't have it. How can you tell me what I'm living with every day?
Absolutely, that's horrible.
Yes, and I gotta ask you, Marianne, why are some people so judgmental?
Honestly, I tend to think that it comes from just a lack of understanding. I feel like in my experience, because plenty of things like that have happened to me too, right? Like,
Uh huh.
and like, and sometimes people speak to me like inappropriately, or as if I don't understand, or as if I'm a child, or all these
Yeah.
different things. And I think that it really comes from like them not knowing that like just because I look different,
Mm-hmm.
that I don't, and I'm not so normal in so many ways. Like, I go out, I do stuff, I like watch reality TV, I like do
Mm-hmm.
all the normal things, and I think so many people with disabilities are normal in so
Mm-hmm.
many ways, and people just don't know that. And they just don't know how to interact.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And a lot of people like to assume instead of just asking the question, they
Yes.
would rather assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a little hard. And then we have here, she says, great, Marianne. That is wonderful. Awesome. Yes, it is awesome. Oh, Karina, she says, I love reality TV too.
It's my favorite. That's why I unwind after work.
And as Karina, she's saying here, yes, the lack of
Yeah.
knowledge. Absolutely. It plays a major role. That plays a major role. Now, Marianne, I have to ask you, has there ever been a time, besides, people looking at you differently or maybe making you feel as though that you don't understand, although you do understand, has there ever been a time where you were feeling like down and out and upset and frustrated? And if so, how did you find a way to get through it?
Yeah, so I call them my SMA days. Because some days I just wake up and I'm like, nope, not today. It's not happening. I'm not doing it today. Right? Like, my body's not cooperating. And I just, like, can't deal.
Mhm.
Right? Like, and so that definitely
Right.
happens to me. Um, and I think I used to be really hard on myself, and I still am, but I used to be really hard on myself about like keeping up and like pushing through
Mhm.
when I felt tired or when I felt weak or when like my I was having an SMA day, as I say. But like now that I'm older, I feel like the one thing I've learned is that like it's okay that if you need to take a nap, you do it. Right? Like if you need to cancel plans, you do it.
Mm.
Right? And like and it'll still all be there tomorrow. If you can't get to work, it's okay. So I think that like those I've kind of like given myself almost like permission to like not push through when I don't feel well. If that answers your question.
Yes. Yes, it does. So what I take here, Marianne, one, self love, self care is important.
Mhm.
Two, it's okay to have one of those days where you don't feel like doing anything. It's
Mhm.
okay to take a break, recuperate, get yourself yourself together and just go back to it another day. Just to
Mhm.
give yourself some grace in time.
Mhm. Absolutely,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I
And the
love it. Now
people.
let's speak about
Sorry, I interrupted you.
that's okay. No, you can go ahead. You were going to say in the people.
I was just gonna say the people who are important will understand that you need that break.
Yes. Absolutely right. That's absolutely right. Now, Marianne, let's talk about this Miss Wheelchair. How was it? How did how did it go about? Were you excited?
Yeah, so I just finished my reign last weekend
Okay.
actually. We crowned the newest New Jersey queen. So she's just
Okay.
started her journey, but my year was amazing. I actually totally stumbled on it. It popped up on my Facebook like a year ago, and my mom was like, "Oh,
Okay.
that looks interesting. Like, you should apply. You should do it." And I was like, "I don't know. Like, I've never done a pageant before. I don't like. I'm not usually that kind of girl. Although I do like hair and makeup and all that kind of stuff. Um, but like, so I applied and I won. Um,
Okay.
and then and then I spent the year kind of like talking about, going to different events and meeting people and like talking about how important it is for people with disabilities like us to not only get um, like physical health care, but also mental health care for all of the reasons why we were just talking about. Sometimes it's really, really, really mentally hard. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people like don't consider that. They're like, oh, your body doesn't do this or that, so like that's the priority. And maybe it is, but that doesn't mean that mental health isn't important too. And so that's kind of what my platform was during my
Okay.
year. Um, and I went to Michigan in August for the national competition, which was probably the best week of my year, hands down.
Okay.
It was amazing. There were all the girls there were incredible human beings, and I made some really good friends from it. And it was like such a once in a lifetime type
Yeah.
of thing, to be around so many people who kind of just understand, I think was the coolest part for me. Because I don't know about you, but I don't really interact with many people in wheelchairs on a day to day.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
usually the only one, which is fine. But it was kind of cool to kind of be in that environment where everybody kind of just had this underlying understanding of like what it was like to be a woman with a disability. Um, and that was just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. You made great friends. You were able to be with people that get you,
Hmm.
that uses wheelchairs. So that was awesome. But I like to speak on what you shared for your platform, which
Hmm.
was like mental health, mental awareness.
Hmm.
And I can honestly tell you, Marina, it is very, very much needed within the disability community
Hmm.
as well as other communities as well. What is your take on how important mental health is for everyone, even if you're living with a disability or not? How important is mental health?
I mean, I think I'm a little biased since I'm a therapist, but it's extremely important. um, I think, I mean, I believe in like the mind body connection too. So like if you're mind isn't healthy, your body won't be either, and vice versa. Right? So, like, we have to take care of both of them, and I think we live in a world where people don't see it like that. And I think they need to, right? Because it's like if you're if people prioritize mental health the way that they prioritize going to get your vaccines or going to get your yearly physical or this or that, or like if you break your arm going to the hospital, if mental health was seen that way too, like imagine how different the world would be. Like it's still so taboo, and I don't understand it.
Yes. I agree with you 100%. Now, I can be honest with you, Marianne. I started therapy for myself, but it
Mhm.
originally started for my son and daughter when they were in elementary school. And the reason why I
Mhm.
started is because one, we had both of my grandmothers who passed away. One passed away in uh, December of 2014, and then the other one passed away in like February 2015. It was
Oh, I'm
like two
sorry.
deaths back to back. And then to turn around, I go in the hospital. Yes, thank you. I went into the hospital because of getting a treatment, which was a high dose called cytoxin. And this
Mhm.
was like a chemotherapy treatment where it would wipe out my whole immune system and then, see if that would help with the disease, but it didn't. And the only thing had happened was I came home with no hair. You know, I actually
Mhm.
had to end up getting platelets and things like that. And some of those days when I had to go in to get platelets or to do like a blood transfusion, my children and my mom would go with me.
Mhm.
So it was very important that I started out getting therapy for my children because they lost two of the most important people in their lives. And then,
Yeah.
hello, their mom who went into the hospital for 5 days, had hair, came back home with no hair. So I know deep down inside, if it was hurting me mentally, then I know it had to been hurting them.
Totally.
So we started off with them in middle school getting therapy. I'm sorry, elementary school, and then eventually it started with family therapy too as well for
Mhm.
us. And then to be honest with you, Marianne, I'm doing therapy again because I started before my daughter left for the
Mhm.
army. So I have an 18-year-old.
Oh
She
wow.
left and went into the army. Yes, straight from high school and into the army. Being an empty nester, my children are gone. And I can honestly tell you, Marianne, I struggled with this is what I struggled with. What do I do now? The people that I cared for, the
Mhm.
people that I fought so hard for, and the people that I wanted to love and protect no longer need me. So what do I do now? And I struggled with that. That's what I struggled
Mhm.
with because now my children are grown up. They don't need me
Mhm.
anymore. And the reason why I kept on going and the reason why I kept on fighting was because of those two people. But what do you do now when they no longer need you? And I had to get
See.
therapy, and I'm still in therapy because I want to help understand, and I don't want to allow it to get the
Mhm.
best of me, my mental. So I still do therapy every week, and it's
Mhm.
helping.
See, well, I'm glad to hear it's helping.
And it was
And
working.
my thought is
Yes.
your kids still need you, but in a different way,
My therapist said the same thing.
right?
She shared with me, she said, Shana, don't think because they're gone from home that they don't need you. They still need
Exactly.
you and they still need your love and your protection. It's just that they may not need
Mhm.
you as much. And you need to be okay with that. So I'm learning how to be okay with they may not need me as much as I think they should need me,
Mhm.
but I'm okay with, them not needing me, and I'm now learned that I have to trust that what I taught them while growing up, that they will keep those things in mind and know that they will do the right thing because it's what I instilled in them while growing up. So I'm learning
Mhm.
that they'll be okay because they've gotten some good training at home, but they'll be fine. So I'm learning to get better with it, Marianne.
Mhm. That's so true. And I think give yourself permission to let that take time, because like I think that that's not an overnight thing. And from the other side of it, I'm not a parent, and I know that I still definitely need my parents. So you are definitely
Right.
still needed. Don't forget that.
Thank you so much. And I'm getting it and I understand it now, Marianne. And it's okay for me to back away and let them have
Mhm.
their space and don't try to interrupt them because they are now young adults. And I've learned that it's okay to let them fly their wings and let them do whatever they want to do and not put my 2 cents into what I think they should do. It's
That can
hard
be
work,
tricky
but it's
too.
getting done. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Now, Marianne, before I let you go, I want to ask you, is there any encouraging words that you have for those out there that may feel as though that their mental health is not together? What should they do? Or if they feel as though that it's nothing wrong, but it could be something there, what should they do if they're feeling those type of ways?
I think like start small, right? Because I know that when I'm not feeling mentally well, everything feels overwhelming. So like what I suggest to people is like pick one thing that you're gonna do today for yourself. Right? One thing. Even if it's like you're gonna eat like a really good dinner that you shouldn't eat but you're gonna eat anyway, right? Like it doesn't have to be anything deep. It can be something small, but like a small act of self care, self love. And if you take it in little tiny pieces, like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing tomorrow, right? Then it doesn't feel so um overwhelming. And then the other thing is like, don't be afraid to go to therapy, right? You don't need to be having an issue to go to therapy. You can just go to like learn more about yourself or work on something or use it to complain about your annoying brother. I don't know, anything, right? It's like you can use it as a resource, and like I think people shouldn't be afraid to do that.
Mm, yes. And well, of course, it's a big stigma that if you go to a therapist or if you're seeing a psychiatrist, it's that something is really wrong with
Mm-hmm.
you. That's not the case.
No.
That is not the case. And it's okay to talk to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to get someone else's opinion because maybe you're talking to people that know you may not work. It's okay to talk to someone that you don't know and
Mm-hmm.
express, your feelings and your thoughts and what's going on with you. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
would you say to someone that say, I don't want to share my experience with a stranger?
I would say that that's a completely fair thing to say because therapy is kind of weird, right? If you think about what it is, it's like I'm asking you to open up to me and you've only known me for 5 seconds, right? Like, how can you trust me? How do you know? Like, and what I say is just give it time, right? It's like any other relationship. You don't just open up about everything after knowing someone for a day, and if you do, that's a whole other problem, right? But it's like if you don't feel comfortable on day one talking about everything, it builds, right? It's like a relationship, so you have to give it time to develop.
Yeah. There you go, guys. If those of you out there that may be struggling and
Mhm.
wondering about mental therapy, getting therapy and getting help for your mental, it's okay to talk to someone else and know that it's going to take time. And it's not going to work in one day. You may have to go back more than once to get the help that you really need. And that's it's
Mhm.
okay. Now, Marianne, before I let you go, how can anyone get in contact with you if they want to chat, if they want to speak about anything? How can they contact you? Any social media?
Yes, so I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know, should I type it in the chat or Shanna, could you share it
Yes, you
with?
can type it in the chat. Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I'll put my Facebook is sorry guys, I'm a slow typer.
It's okay.
That's my Facebook. And my Instagram
Okay.
is and that's my Instagram handle. Um, so you could feel free to add me on public.
Okay.
And feel free to message me or reach out on either one.
Awesome. Absolutely. And I'm going to put this in our discussion box so
Perfect.
everyone can have this information. Yes, and I want to thank you very much, Marianne, for being a guest on the show today. I truly appreciate you. And I want to say we're going to put a comma right here because, of course, I want to have you back again. I really, truly appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Jenna. This was really fun, and I appreciate you inviting me on to talk.
Awesome. Okay, we have Karina who says here, congratulations. And she has here exactly, and she says, "Okay, thanks, Mary Ann." Now, my cousin Karina, she's doing therapy sessions and things like that. This
Hmm.
is what she's specializing in. So maybe this would be a good link up for you too. Absolutely, yes, because she's doing therapy. She does therapy as well.
Hmm.
Yes,
That's awesome.
awesome. Awesome. So I want to say thank you once again to you, Marianne, and for everyone out there tuning in. I want to let you all know that the replay of video today will be on YouTube, Life of Sunshine on Wheels with a Z, not an S, Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all have a good one. You all be safe. Thank you and bye.